The 1984 draft class is one of the, if not the best draft class in NBA history. You had guys like Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton all making the Hall of Fame from that draft class. Just looking at these four players in their collective careers, they combined for 47 All-Star games, 45 All-NBA teams, 23 All-Defensive teams, 10 scoring titles, 9 assist titles, 5 steal titles, 3 rebound titles, 3 block titles, 8 NBA championships, and 7 MVPs. Not to mention, John Stockton is the career leader in both assists and steals, and Hakeem is the all-time blocks leader. So it's safe to say that this draft class is pretty stacked, and in today's video, I thought it'd be interesting to find out what would happen if they were drafted in today's NBA. Before we get in this video, make sure you guys go over to hoops.com if you want some super cool basketball phone cases, and if you use code Smequle, you will get 10% off on your order. I will leave a link in the description down below. So we're in NBA 2K20, my league right now, and we got this 1984 draft class in the game. As you can see, we got Jordan, Charles Barkley, Hakeem, John Stockton. We got some other guys from this draft class as well. Kevin Willis, Sam Perkins, Otis Thorpe, and a bunch of other players from this draft class. But of course, we're mostly going to be looking at these four main guys because they ended up turning out as great players. Now, in real life, Hakeem went 1st overall, Jordan went 3rd overall, Barkley went 5th overall, and John Stockton went 16th overall in the 1984 draft. But now that we kind of know how their careers played up, we can more accurately draft these four players. And I did simulate through the 2019-20 season. So at the 2020 draft class, we're going to be replacing that with the 1984 draft. And then going forward, we're just going to go from the 2020 draft and onwards. But without further ado, let's just get right into the draft. The teams are going to be a lot different. We can actually check out the draft lottery pretty quick here. So they're going to be different to how they would turn out in real life, just because it was a re-simulation of the last season. Knicks are going to get the first pick. Then we got the Wizards, Timberwolves, Pacers as the top 4. And our top 4 players should all go in the top 4. It's just where they end up going. Let's get right into the draft. Starting off here with the first pick, the New York Knicks select Michael Jordan, of course. It would have been crazy if Jordan ended up going to the Wizards, just because, of course, he played those final 2 years of his career on the Wizards. Number 2 is going to be Charles Barkley going to the Washington Wizards, which is pretty interesting. Number 3 overall, we got the Timberwolves, and they are going to choose Leroy Morris Sr., who's actually not someone in this draft class. I'm kind of confused as why he's so high, because this player was literally just supposed to be a filler for the draft class. He wasn't supposed to go this high. So our top 4 players didn't go top 4 overall. Hakeem is going to go to the Pacers, which should be interesting to see how he does there with Miles Turner. He probably isn't going to start right off the bat. Next up, the Pistons select John Stockton. So those are our 4 main players being drafted right there. Jordan went first, then we got Charles Barkley, Hakeem, and then John Stockton. And it'll be interesting to see how these players actually fit in with their teams. Jordan, of course, will fit in nice with the Knicks because they need literally every position. Charles Barkley will fit in nice with the Wizards. But Hakeem and John Stockton, both these teams are already with a point guard, so it'll be interesting to see if they start right away, or if Miles Turner and Derrick Rose are going to start above them, or maybe both those players are no longer on those teams. All right, so of course, looks like Jordan is going to be starting for the Knicks at an 86 overall. He's already the best player on the team. Hakeem is going to be starting for the Pacers. He's up to an 83. Miles Turner going to be moved to the bench. John Stockton going to be starting for the Pistons. Derrick Rose moved to the bench despite Derrick Rose having a little higher overall, of course. John Stockton, the rookie. And then lastly, of course, Charles Barkley going to be starting for the Wizards. So this should be interesting to find out what happens in this first season. Let's see if any of these guys make the All-Star teams and possibly and find out who gets the Rookie of the Year award. Michael Jordan is going to end up being our only rookie on the All-Star team. So looks like so far he's in the front running for Rookie of the Year, just like real life. Jordan ended up playing 9 minutes in the All-Star game and got 10 points. Coming to the end of the first season, Giannis is going to get MVP, but what we're looking at is Rookie of the Year, and that is going to go to Michael Jordan. He ended up averaging 27.9 points per game, which is only 0.3 points lower than what he did in 1984. He averaged less rebounds, though, and more assists. Other than that, no other player is going to win awards from a rookies, so we're kind of just going to skip through this. Michael Jordan does make the All-NBA first team, and checking out the second and third team, we don't have any of our other rookies. So it looks like Michael Jordan is did way better than everybody else in his draft class. Jordan also makes the All-Defensive second team. John Stockton, Jordan, Hakeem, and Charles Barkley all going to be on the All-Rookie first team. So great seasons by all these guys. And checking out the standings, New York Knicks are going to make the NBA playoffs with 51 wins on the season. So Jordan making playoffs in his first season. Pacers, Pistons, and Wizards all not going to make playoffs this first season. Pistons did awful with John Stockton. Hopefully he'll do a little better in the future. But let's come over here to our rookie report. Michael Jordan, of course, going to score the most out of any rookie with 27.9. Hakeem with a really good season as well, 19.2 points per game as well as 19.4 rebounds. Charles Barkley, 17.7 points and 7.8 rebounds. And then John Stockton getting a double-double in his first season, 15.8 points and 11.3 assists. Michael Jordan was actually 6th in the league for scoring, and he was tied for first with Kawhi Leonard for steals per game. So crazy season for Jordan here. Let's see if he's able to win a championship in his first season, or if he's just going to get first rounded. And Jordan is going to get first rounded, but he did end up going to Game 7 against the Brooklyn Nets. Unfortunately, couldn't do anything else. Boston Celtics end up winning the NBA championship, and Jason Tatum got Finals MVP. But we're just going to move on to the next year. If none of these guys end up getting traded or anything, I'll just see you guys at the All-Star break and see if more of these players from 1984 get drafted. Coming to the 2022 All-Star Game, we end up having 3 of our players making it from the 1984 draft. We got MJ, Hakeem, and John Stockton, all a reserve for Team Giannis. Charles Barkley has not been doing as well as any of these guys, and I don't know if he'll become the great player that he once was, but Stockton, Hakeem, and Michael Jordan sure are on their way so far. I mean, Michael Jordan is up to a 92 overall. Hakeem is a 90 overall. John Stockton's an 88 overall. And then Charles Barkley is only an 83 overall. So Barkley definitely not doing nearly as good. But Charles Barkley going to end up winning the dunk contest this year, which is pretty crazy. I was not expecting him to win out of all the players that could have been in it. But Charles Barkley taking home the dunk contest. Coming to the All-Star game, none of our players doing great. Jordan only with 9. Stockton and Hakeem barely even playing in this game. But let's simulate to the rest of the season. See if some of these teams are going to make playoffs. Coming to the end of the second season, Luka Doncic going to get MVP, LaMelo Ball Rookie of the Year, and Sixth Man of the Year. That looks nothing like him, though. Anthony Davis, Defensive Most Improved, Jermaine Lynch, and then Mike Budenholzer going to be Coach of the Year. So none of the 1984 draft class getting in awards. Nobody from that draft class making the All-NBA first team. Doncic and Ja Morant went off the season, so Jordan didn't make the first team, but he does get on the second team with John Stockton. And on the third team, no sight of Hakeem or Charles Barkley, but Hakeem and Michael Jordan on the all-defensive first team. Checking out the standings yet again, Michael Jordan going to make playoffs this time with 52 wins. And Hakeem going to make playoffs as well this year with 38 wins. So with a losing record, Pacers actually getting into the playoffs. Wizards with 37 wins on the season, so only one below the Pacers. And then the Pistons are the worst team in the East right now, despite how good John Stockton is doing, which is kind of surprising. They also got Andre Drummond back on their team. Coming over to stats next, Michael Jordan is going to be the 4th leading scorer in the NBA with 29.6 points per game in his second season in real life. He was actually injured, so obviously he's going to improve on that. 7.1 assists for him as well. I'll see if any of our other 1984 draft class players are actually up here. John Stockton going to be 26th in the league for scoring. And then we'll come over here to rebounds per game. See if Charles Barkley is up here at all. I don't see Hakeem or Charles Barkley, which is kind of surprising. Hakeem 21st in the league for rebounds per game with 9.9. Looks like Charles Barkley is struggling a little bit. So Charles Barkley averaging 16.4 and 6.5, which is actually pretty decent. Of course, it's not all-star or MVP caliber or anything like that. So definitely Charles Barkley struggling the most. He's up to an 84. Let's hop into the playoffs here. Of course, we got the Pacers and the Knicks. Let's see any of these teams to move on and win the NBA Finals. So Michael Jordan and the Knicks going to end up making the Eastern Conference Finals, and Hakeem and the Pacers get first rounded by the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's see if the Knicks can make it to the NBA Finals. A 1-0 lead. Bucks tied up, 2-1 lead, 3-1 lead, and the Bucks get another game, and there we go. The New York Knicks made the NBA Finals. So Michael Jordan making the finals in his second year. Let's see if he can win an NBA championship. Series tied up 1-1. Clippers with a 2-1 lead. There we go. The Knicks tied up 2-2. The Knicks with a 3-2 lead. But the Clippers are going to win game number 6, forcing a game 7. Luckily for Michael Jordan, though, the Knicks do have the home court advantage since they have the higher seed. And let's see if Jordan is able to win his first championship or if he's going to start off 0-1. And looks like the Clippers with a pretty big lead to start this thing off, and the Clippers are gonna win the championship. So already Michael Jordan's career a lot worse than real life. He is 0-1 in the NBA Finals, and we're just gonna simulate one more season for this video, then we're gonna leave it at that. And if you guys actually do enjoy the series, then I'll make more videos like these. Heading into our third season, Michael Jordan already up to a 95 overall. Hakeem is a 94, so right behind Jordan. And John Stockton a 91. And then Charles Barkley still struggling a little bit. He's still at an 83 overall, so he hasn't really improved since his rookie season. I don't know if he's going to do good at all in this simulation, which kind of sucks. I do like Charles Barkley. But yet again, I'll see you guys at the All-Star Game. Year 3, and Michael Jordan finally going to be a starter on the All-Star team, this time for Team Giannis. And then yet again, Hakeem and John Stockton going to be reserves. And they're reserves for Team Luka. And then no sight of Charles Barkley at all. John Stockton going to end up winning the three-point contest this year. Looks like he's shooting very good from 3. And Team Luka destroying Team Giannis. And Jordan with 15 points in the All-Star Game. And then Hakeem and John Stockton didn't really do much. Luka Doncic gonna get MVP yet again. 2K loves him in these simulations. He like almost always drops a triple-double or is super close. He's 0.1 rebounds and assists off the triple-double. Nobody from our 1984 draft class gonna get any awards, which I'm not sure which team Jason Kidd is the coach of, because I'm pretty sure right now he's an assistant coach on the Lakers. Michael Jordan does make the All-NBA first team. John Stockton making the second team. And yet again, no Charles Barkley or Hakeem. But Hakeem does make the All-Defensive first team as well as Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan or Hakeem might win a Defensive Player of the Year in one of these upcoming seasons. Checking out the standings, yet again, Knicks going to be the best team of our 1984 draft class players with 46 wins this season. Wizards finally going to make playoffs with Charles Barkley. He's up to an 84 overall, so he finally improved by 1 overall. Bradley Beal is a 94 now. Pistons also making playoffs with 40 wins, and the Pacers just 1 or 2 games actually off making the playoffs, so that sucks for them. Hakeem not able to make the playoffs this year. Coming over to our season stats, Jordan with 30.4 points per game. That's going to get him 3rd in the league. Hakeem was 15th in the league for rebounds per game with only 9.8. He hasn't gotten over 10 rebounds per game yet. He also averaged 18.8 points. John Stockton, 2nd for assists per game, right behind Lonzo Ball with 12.6 assists per game, which is pretty crazy. And then Jordan and Stockton, the 2 best stealers. And then Hakeem is going to lead the league in blocks per game. Charles Barkley, despite his stats not being the best, 17.5 points per game, 7.2 rebounds. He is 2nd in the league for field goal percentage. Knicks and Pistons both going to make it out of the first round, both with 4-1 victories. Of course, we got John Stockton on the Pistons, Jordan on the Knicks. Let's see which one of these teams are going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. The Pistons with a 2-1 lead here. Let's see if Michael Jordan can come back. He ties it up to the 2 Pistons with the 3-2 lead. We're going to a game 7, and the Knicks are going to take it, making Eastern Conference Finals yet again. And they're up against the Hawks here. And looks like the Hawks going to get a pretty easy victory here. Yeah, a 4-2 victory over the Knicks. So no NBA championships for our players yet again. But the Knicks did lose to the best team in the NBA, Trae Young, with Finals MVP. And that's where we're going to end off on today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you do smash that like button. Let me know that you want more of these videos. This has been your boy Smequle, though, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone in affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the